Hi, my name is Tanuja Gadre and I am here today welcoming you to a session of group discussion. I hope all of you are doing well and ready to spend the next 1 hour approximately with me. So, let's see what is a group discussion. This is a group discussion among participants who have an agreed topic given to them. Also, group discussions take place of 8 to 10 candidates are formed into a leaderless group, mind you, a group where there is no leader, and are given a specific situation to analyze and discuss within a given time frame. And the third, which is slightly more interesting, is they may be given a case study and asked to come out with a solution of a problem. So what we saw here just now is there are 3 different scenarios where the group discussion normally take place. One is you're given a topic, second is there is a situation, and the third is there is case study. Now let's find out where and when these group discussions are generally held. As most of you may be already aware that it's a big part of top universities for admissions. Second is campus interviews, and also this practice is for MNCs and leading organizations for fresh hiring and also for internal promotions. However, the group discussions is such an ideal practice and it's such a healthy brainstorming that it can be done on any of the scenarios. Like you can do it at your friend's party, you can do it at home, you can also do it in outbound activity. So that is how the group discussions are generally held. Now the purpose of these group discussions is something we must try and understand. Now the purpose is to evaluate certain attributes of a candidate which are otherwise very difficult to identify and also extremely time consuming. Group discussion is used, for mass elimination. Isn't that interesting? When there are lots of applications, pouring in the organization or in the university and, pass through the written test candidates are say about 2 lakhs. And the seats which are available are not more than 300. You know what I mean? That is how the ratio is. And that is where the group discussions play an integral part of this process. While the written tests check the individual skills, the capabilities, the group discussions are like a litmus test. You know what is a litmus test? That tells you whether it's a basic thing or it has an acidic value. Now, it tells you whether an individual is a team player or not. In group discussions, apart from the flow of original thoughts and ideas, it's become very important that the way they are communicated and the ability of an individual to assert her own ideas in an acceptable manner. You know what I mean? It's said in a way which is accepted by the person, by the group of people. For many, these types of learning activities, I tell you, may literally be a nightmare, especially if you know that they are being assessed. Your entire admission or your job is depending because you will be shortlisted if you do well in this group discussion. You know how important it is? Well, in this competitive world, how we want to be constantly be the winner. We don't want to lose any battles. And generation of today, like people like you, who want to be ahead of time and make sure that they get all the opportunities. And why not? This group discussion selection criteria is based on actually company requirements. See, it's important to understand where you are going for group discussions. Because if you're going to certain MNC for your group discussion, it's important to know what is the company is all about, have a little bit of a homework done before you go there. So that way, you are actually ready to kind of know what are the company requirements. Thus, the group discussions are instruments to access various attributes and traits of an individual. In any managerial role, the decision making and execution of tasks cannot take place in an isolation, as you're all aware. So, what we just saw that what is group discussion, when and where they're held, and now what we're going to learn and try and find out what is it and how is it that we're going to prepare ourselves so that we face and we get ready for these kind of group discussions. Now, content is the life and blood of any group discussion. What I mean by content is actually having the knowledge of the subject matter. Speaking quality and topical content is the single most important attribute that can do wonders in group discussions. It is very, very important to have a thorough knowledge of what is either the topic, the situation, or the case study. So you have to have the content all studied well. And the second important thing is communication skills, because that act like a skin, like the skin in the body. The communication skill make the first and most prominent impression about the personality of the aspirant. Communication covers 3 different aspects. Let's look at them. Correctly conveying what you want to say. Listen very carefully, because correctly conveying what you want to say, listening, and the language that you use while you're talking. Now, like we saw and we understand so far, that making a good impression while speaking in these meetings, in this group discussion, is the basic skill every professional should have. Now, let's see how we can make this impression. There are certain points or certain marks that one must know before they go for these group discussions. What skills are judged in the group discussion? If we know what is expected out of us, then it's very easy, for us to know how we prepare for that, right? So, what skills are judged in group discussion? How good you are in communication with others, how you behave and interact with the group, how open-minded you are. You know what that means? If someone says something to you, are you just going to say like, oh no, I don't think so? No, that's not the way you say. You have to listen. So go back on the second point where it says that you have to be a good listener to be able to do that. How you put forward your views, there is a way how you would put forward your views, and it comes very handy if you have those leadership and decision making skills. This is the time to show your skill of leadership. Have you done this when you were a young child? Maybe, were you a monitor in your school days? Try and remember, if you were one of those, maybe you are the right candidate, are a candidate who's going to be selected for this group discussion. I am telling you that because that's the way to go. Also, decision making skills. Are you the one who go for shopping and then look at 15 different things? Take this example seriously. It's not something that we laugh away, okay? If you know what you're looking for, I am not talking about the shopping experience, which we do generally, window shopping or kind of a time pass thing. Here we are talking serious shopping. Are you the one who look at 15 things and still don't know what you gonna, shortlist on? Then you're probably lacking a little bit on your decision making skills. That's where you need to work. Your analytical skill and your subject knowledge, as we have discussed, also problem solving and critical thinking skill. Are you the one who always there to create the problems or problem solving? Even though it sounds like a big deal, problem solving, it really comes very naturally, and we have actually been doing it since childhood. Have you ever tried to, interrupt or go and try to make peace between the two friends when they're fighting? Well, that's the way to go, because if you have done that again, then you are the candidate who would do well in problem solving. But if you are the one who are one of the fighters and not ready to really make peace easily, then maybe that's the area you need to work on. So you know what, it's a time to go in flashback, try and think whether you are one of them, identify what you lack and what you have, use your strengths and weaknesses, and that's the way, my friend, to go ahead in this. And of course, you know, one of the very important things is your attitude and your confidence. You know how confidence takes you long way. If you are confident enough in what you're saying, if you are well prepared, you have your content ready, you have the right communication skills, then I'm sure that you would be able to get your message across very powerfully. Now, while doing this, I think let's look at do's and don'ts of group discussion, because we have talked about what is it that we are expecting in a group discussion. But there are certain, you know, points which we should remember, do's and don'ts, that we do for everything that we do. Keep eye contact while speaking. Now, it's very, very important. You must have heard it a lot of times, I'm sure, and you probably say, oh, I know, what is this lady going to tell us about the, you know, eye contact. But it is extremely important thing, because if I am talking to you and looking into your eyes, then I'm doing a lot of things. You know what? Number one is I'm showing my confidence in you. I'm showing my confidence in myself. I'm giving you respect by looking at you. And I'm also trying to tell you, hey buddy, please listen to me, because I have something to say which is serious, and I want you to give all your attention to me. All that is done without saying one word if you have the proper and the right eye contact. Do not look at the, you know, only evaluator, this, you know, the people or the boss who is there, who is looking at you. Keep eye contact with every team member while speaking. It's very important to look at everybody. You know, also, if you have that skill, which is kind of initiating, if you have that in you, and if you're well prepared, initiating the group discussion is a big plus point. But keep in mind, like I said, initiate the group discussion only when you understand the topic clearly and have some topic knowledge. Speaking without proper subject knowledge, not gonna give good impression. Instead, it may just give bad impression. So you maybe want to just stay away from that. Also, very important, I know we don't like to do that, but allow others to speak. You know what, sometimes when we have so much to say, we have so much data in our brain that we just want to, you know, kind of upload it, sorry. But we don't want to do it. Do not interrupt anyone in between while speaking. Hey, I have something to say. No, that's not the way to say. Just please do not do that. Even if you don't agree with his or her thoughts, do not snatch their chance to speak. You know, give everybody a fair chance to talk. Instead, make some notes and clear the points when it's your turn. Because when somebody else is talking, you maybe really have something to kind of contradict or, you know, say something on the facts that the other person has said. Good idea. Make it a point so that you don't forget. So when that person stops talking, what you do is go back to that point and explain it to that person, your viewpoint. Another very important thing is speak clearly. Speak politely and clearly. When I say speak politely and clearly, use simple and understandable language, you know. This is not an English literature class where you use your flowery language, you know, very descriptive words and all that. No, what we want to do here is get the message across in simple English, the language which, don't use slangs, don't use something like chalta hai, sab jagah karte hai, or, you know, do not use any other language. When we have these group discussions, it's very important to speak only in English. Don't be too aggressive either. I mean, you may be an aggressive person otherwise in your life. You know how, that's how, you know what I always say, that it reflects your personality. So please don't be very aggressive if you are, you know, disagreeing with someone. Express your feelings calmly and politely. Tell the person that, you know, I kind of disagree with you. Can I please say what I want to? Also, sometimes when there are a group of 8 to 10 people sitting together, talking, brainstorming, giving ideas to each other, there is a possibility that the discussion somehow goes, out of track. Make sure to bring the discussion on track. Each one of you in group discussion, especially you, because I am talking to you and getting you prepared for this group discussion. It's important that you bring the discussion on track. If by any means group is distracted from the topic or goal, then simply take initiative to bring the discussion on the track. Make all group members aware that you all need to come to some conclusion at the end of this discussion, so stick to the topic. And remember, the time is short, you're given a time frame and your task is to come with a solution or a conclusion within the given time, and therefore it's important to discuss only the relevant subjects, should be just rolling around the topic. Positive attitude. Now that goes a long way in your life. It's not only to the group discussion, but let's come back to the group discussion, because that's what we are talking about. It's be confident. Do not try to, dominate anyone. Keep positive body language. Like if I'm like standing like that all the time, maybe not a good idea. I am standing erect, very smart, but at the same time my attitude is such, my body language is such, which tells you, yes, you're welcome, yeah, I'm ready to listen to you. So that politeness in your body language, if you mean it, it will automatically reflect in your body language. Believe me, that's the way it works. Anything that is in your mind, whatever thoughts you have in your mind, they reflect on your body language, and when they reflect on your body language, it automatically reaches to the people you are talking to. Remember this all the time. Show interest in discussion. It's important that you also listen and show interest by saying, all right, oh really, that's very good, or I never knew that, or okay, yeah, some kind of response, because that tells the other person that you're interested in what the person is saying. And speak sensibly. Do not speak just to increase your speaking time. I'm going to tell you a small incident that I experienced when I was a child. I'm sure you guys do. When in school we write those exams of history or geography, when the answer paper really never seemed to end. And we are writing, but it just doesn't end. And you are trying hard to recollect what you have learned and trying to put then the whole thing into answer paper, and you're really struggling. And you see from the bench back, there is a girl who is asking for, Miss, supplement please. And the supplement is given to that girl. Then before you would even write 10 lines, another boy stands up and says, supplement please. And you kind of feel insecure. Don't laugh. I'm sure some of you have experienced this. And suddenly you feel insecure and you feel, what am I doing? I am writing, but how come these people are writing so much? Well, I tell you one thing, more likely that these people are writing things which are just for the sake of writing and don't really make a lot of sense. So please do not speak to increase your speaking time. Don't worry even if you speak less. Your thoughts should be sensible and relevant instead of just irrelevant speech. This is very important. I just want you to, understand it and practice it. And like I said, listen carefully to others. Speak less and listen more. Tough, huh? I know. Even I can't do that at times. But I make an effort. Especially if I am a part of group discussion, if I am doing, this is how we practice makes you perfect. We are not like that. But once we listen, once we know that this is what we are supposed to do, pay attention while others are speaking. This will make the discussion and you will get involved in the group positively. You will surely make people agree with you. If you listen to them carefully and then give them time to speak, and if you make a point after that, they will definitely agree with you. Of course, if you have a valid point. And no need to go into much details. All the time in group discussion, you don't have to come up with numbers, just basic subject analysis is enough. No need to mention exact figures. 3 crore 42 lakhs 31,322 and whatever. Just not required. So please do not do that. Exact figures while giving reference is important. You have limited time, so be precise and convey your thoughts in short and simple language. And one of the most important things is formal dressing. Don't ever take dressing for granted. Don't think that, well, I am all prepared, I am all ready, so why I have to bother getting dressed up, or but no, that's not. What is true is you have to be formally dressed. Don't take it casually. No fancy and funny dressing either. Huh? You're not expecting to wear those flashy colors that you see in the movies. No, that's not what is expected. Expected to dress up formally. You should be comfortable while speaking in a group. Positive gesture and body language will make your work easy. If you're formally dressed, your body language is positive, you speak clearly, you have a great communication. If you remember and keep in mind these 10 simple rules, then I think your group discussion thing will, really be very, very easy. So there are certain things that we just discussed that we have to importantly remember is how you behave and interact in a group. How often you listen to others. How open-minded you are. Also, how you put forward your views, your leadership and decision-making skills, your analysis skill and subject knowledge, problem solving and critical thinking skill, your attitude and your confidence. I mean, these are the things that take you really, really long way. Also, it's very important to know that just doing all these things, making sure that you're, actually paying attention to what you're saying, at the same time, putting all your heart into what you're saying is important. All right, in the beginning of this session when we started, we talked about 3 different scenarios where the group discussion generally take place. Now, do you remember them? Number 1 is the topic, number 2 is the situation, and number 3 is the case study. Now, let's talk in little bit detail about this so that you get the rough idea of what is it that you're going to face when you actually participate in a group discussion. Does it sound good? I know, I thought so too. All right. So when we talk about topic, topics are so many of them. You can think of lots of topics. The topics, the matter where you have written essays in your school life, in your college life. So topics are plenty. But let's think of a topic which, one of the topics which would actually, excite you or actually make you speak so much more than what you generally speak, and a real kind of brainstorming. Okay, I'm going to tell you the topic, and let's see if you just are going to think about what you think about these topics. Okay, the number 1 topic that I'm going to tell you, which you should think of, is, do women make good managers? Do women make good managers? Now wait a minute, I'm not saying here do they make better managers. So please here, no gender bias. I am asking a plain question. Do women make good managers? Think about it. This is a topic that I want all of you to put your thoughts, make your points, and try and see what are your viewpoints on you. This way you will also know what kind of personality you have. These personal traits sometimes are hidden within us, and unless we actually put them down and discuss in a group, we don't know. So are we clear? Last time I'm repeating is that, do women make good managers? Okay. Number 2 scenario that we talked about was the situation. Now again, situation is also something that has really been around, that we see that there are so many political situations, there are so many international issues, but I am not going to get into that. I believe in simplicity. So I'm going to talk about a situation which is very, very simple. Now, since I'm from Mumbai, I'm going to talk a situation which all Mumbaikars faced last week. In the first rains, water clogging in various areas of Mumbai, traffic chaos and lots of inconvenience to all the Mumbaites. You heard the situation, right? All right, I'm going to repeat it once. Last week, first rain caused the water clogging in various areas of Mumbai and lot of inconvenience to the Mumbaikars. Do we deserve it? It happens almost every single year. I mean, this is the situation that is given to you. You are supposed to analyze, discuss within the group and then come up with a conclusion, possibly solution. So, are you ready? This is a situation. I have given you a typical general situation, not specific to a university or the MNC or any leading organizations. I have given you a situation which is for a common man. All right, think about it. Put your thoughts down and see what you feel about it. And the thirdly and the most importantly, case studies. Oh, I love them. I like case studies because you know what? Case studies is actually something that is like a like a situation or like a short movie. Everything is told to you and then you are going to find the answer or the solution for it. Oh, I just love them. So here we go. I'm going to tell you a case study. Listen to it carefully because generally case studies are given on a piece of paper typed. But since we are talking, and I like to narrate, So I'm going to narrate it to you and you're going to also remember it. Don't write down. Okay. You are the manager in a R&D company of a big multinational. Okay. You're very good at your work. And one day, this is like 2 years back. Okay. You come up with a product that you think will really, have a storm in the market. And you think that product will bring in lots of money to the company. And you're like, all excited about it. And why not? What you do, you share this with your immediate boss and your CEO. Now your immediate boss thinks it's a fantastic idea. He thinks you're genius. Of course, you are flattered. Unfortunately, your CEO doesn't think that. Obviously, the result, no action taken. Well, 2 years gone, and now your immediate boss has taken over the CEO's position. He is the boss today, man. So now he still remembers you. You're still working in the same company, and he knows you have this idea that you had shared with him 2 years back. He wants to implement that, and he has already expressed his thoughts to you, and he has said, listen, my buddy, we're going to implement this, we're going to launch this product, and there is a reward for you. Well, now your thoughts are different. You don't think anymore that product is worth it. You kind of agree to the earlier CEO. You think that this product is just obsolete. I mean, no good. You think that this is going to go outdated very soon. And so what you say is, if I really go ahead and launch this product, it's going to be loss proposal and revenue loss for my company. And I'm, but what that means is you're going to wash your hands on that reward and all probable promotion. You never know. What would you do? Think about it. What would you do? What would you do? What would you like to do? Think about it. This is one of the favorite topics of mine for group discussion. I think 8 or 10 people like you, when they get into a group and talk about it, I am telling you it's going to have fire. It's going to be so much brainstorming and it's going to be so good. I expect all of you to think about these things and tell me, what do you think? What do really you would do if you are one of them? Now, these 3 different scenarios, I gave it to you just so that you get the rough idea of what group discussions is all about. We have prepared you for this group discussion, and I am hoping that by now you are a little bit set to face one of the group discussion. Now, we have talked everything, even couple of times, kind of revised it. The 3-4 important things I want to mention before I close this session is, most importantly, having said all this, remember, be yourself. You cannot pretend to be someone else. I mean, just no matter you try to be like this, you try to be like that, but it's important to be yourself. When you are being yourself. Also, when said that, don't pretend that you're someone else. If you try and put on, then that never works. Please believe that the other person immediately knows that you're putting on or you're pretending. So please do not do that. Use simple language. The simpler you are, it's easier for the other person to conceive what you're saying, conceive your ideas, your thoughts. It's very, very easy. And the last but not least is put your heart into your speech. If you do it really from your heart, I am sure you will really succeed in this group discussion scenario and everything will fall in place. So my friends, I wish you all the best and good luck.